Welcome. This is our trip that we took to London with the kids. So we started in Piccadilly Circus and went to the Hard Rock Cafe. We had to go to Hamleys because it's the world's largest toy store.
Several floors of just non-stop awesome toys.
Then we went on to the Lego World.
That was pretty cool too.
We did end up walking over Westminster Bridge, so you see the London Eye in the background, and then in front of us was Parliament. We arrived in London on Sunday morning. We did stop at Westminster Abbey and go to a church service that evening, which was really neat for the kids. So we were glad that we got to do that while we were in London. We did start the morning at Hyde Park, which is probably where the rain is coming in. We were a little chilled by the time we got through Hyde Park, and then we walked by the Wellington Arch onto Buckingham Palace.
Buckingham Palace was pretty cool. I mean, there was a lot of people, but we got there kind of early, so we got a nice spot. It was still busy though.
It was, and this was kind of at the start of the coronavirus pandemic, so nobody was wearing masks at this point. But the United States stopped travel very shortly after we got back.
You definitely want to try to get there early because the crowds get really big really quickly. Just a helpful hint.
We did end up starting at Wellington Barracks too and followed the New Guard over to Buckingham Palace. Then we kind of moved along the way and saw the Relief march up the Mall and enter St. James too.
Yeah. Changing the guard is really cool.
After that, we went through St. James Park, over to the tube station, and then left for the Making of Harry Potter experience, which is another video. Our last morning in central London, we started with a visit to the Tower of London.
The Tower of London was really neat because that's where the Queen's jewels are kept.
The tower is really cool because they used to have elephants and tigers, and pretty much they had a zoo at the tower.
It was a zoo in the Tower of London.
Then we got to see Tower Bridge, of course, from the Tower of London, and we did end up walking across over to Tower Bridge. It was well worth it to do the Yeoman Warder tour.
Especially a free tour. I would highly recommend the tours. They were pretty neat.
The kids like to pretend that they were palace guards.
They didn't get paid for it, though.
We really like this cannon.
So it's in a lot of pictures. It's a big cannon, though.
That's all you got to say about it.
It's a big cannon. There's nothing more to say about it.
We did go and see the Queen's jewels. They had some neat exhibits with the armory.
It's crazy how many suits of armor and weaponry and everything were in there. Even the horse's armor was in there. I mean, it was really, really neat. That was cool. They made a dragon out of all the armor. There was some modern weaponry in there as well.
Kids got to pretend to be guards.
She makes a little guard. He makes an even littler guard.
No, he's not littler than she is by much. And there's our oldest guard.
Still short.
We did get to walk across the bridge.
That was really cool. It was chilly too.
And then our last afternoon was the Natural History Museum. So we really enjoyed the museum. Yeah, this was our last stop, really in London. You can just tell from the building itself that it's
a
huge.
part of history.
Kids love the dinosaurs. Like, this thing really growled at them. And the raptors, as you can tell, my youngest wasn't so sure about it. We also ended up going through the center of the earth. They had a lot of exhibits that were really neat to see. Lastly, you see our very large whale.
It was huge. It took up the whole, building. It was ginormous.
After that, we got left central London for the airport to pick up our rental car for the rest of our time in the United Kingdom. Remember, your travel adventure is
right around the corner.